Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
Courage. Courage is that ability to do something that absolutely terrifies us. America's history is rich with those who've had courage to stand up and fight to promote something they believed in. Most importantly, liberty and freedom in the founding of this great nation. Those men and women, they took on the challenge, just like I see every day right now. I see grassroots, I see citizens standing up, trying to fight to promote what we believe in, which is the Constitution, the rule of law, common sense. We saw that last week with Benjamin Netanyahu, who stood before a joint session of Congress to promote his cause and promote the state of Israel and their fight for freedom against tyranny, against those who want to kill them. He encouraged us and inspired us and reminded us we can and will and should fight on and stand for liberty, not just for America, but to stand up for those who cannot protect themselves. Oh my goodness, he reminded me of Esther, that incredible story of a woman who fought for her people, who stood up against the king. And what did she do? She was a hero to her people. She saved them. Not because she thought she would be a hero. She didn't want to be a hero. She's the reluctant hero. America has so many reluctant heroes, not only in our history books like George Washington and Martha Washington. Did you know that Martha Washington traveled around the 13 American colonies promoting freedom and the patriotic cause and fundraising for our troops? Martha Washington was the first person in American history to raise money and awareness and support our troops. Wow. Shout out Martha Washington. Thank you for that sacrifice. Last week, a similar group of heroes emerged in the state of Arkansas, where citizens and legislators took a stand to preserve and promote liberty through what they are doing through the Convention of States project, something I'm involved in, as many of you know. Representative Michelle Gray gets my hero, my reluctant hero shout out today because she changed her vote amid threats from so-called conservative lobby groups to stand with the citizens of Arkansas and her fellow legislators to say, wait a second, that's not right. I will not succumb to threats, to bullying and intimidation. I stand with the people of Arkansas to promote liberty and stop the federal government right in their tracks. And thank you, Governor Palin. Thank you, Bristol. You also get my reluctant hero shout out this week. Mark Levin, Senator Tom Coburn, who are using their big megaphones not only to push Arkansas to victory, but to inspire the grassroots, to inspire Americans, to inspire our state legislators to rise up and say, enough is enough, federal government. You work for us. So many people today lament the state of our nation and try to convince us there are no more heroes. Ronald Reagan said, if you can't find a hero, you don't know where to look. Holy cow. That's incredible. Sovereign citizens fighting to reclaim our Constitution and the rule of law, they're the heroes. They're the fabric that holds America together, and we should be privileged to walk among them. That next hero, it just might be you. Thank you for standing up. I send a shout out to all the heroes in my life, all of you. You know who you are. Thank you for inspiring me to be better, reach farther, and look upward. This is Tamara Colbert from Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. What do Hillary Clinton's email scandal and the Justice Department's Ferguson report have in common? Well, here's a hint. People in positions of power behaving badly, abusing their office, and violating the public trust. Hillary Clinton's long history of skirting and placing herself above the law is factual and well documented. This is her pattern of behavior, and she gets away with it. In fact, she gets rewarded time and time again in spite of it. Why couldn't she follow the same rules as she required from the rest of her staff? And yet, my prediction is that she will ride out this email storm without even being confronted directly by the news media. Where are the hard-hitting journalists who want to get to the truth of the matter? Why aren't they pestering her, camping out on her doorstep, forcing her to answer questions? You know where they are. They're scared of the Clintons, scared of what she or Bill will do to them. At least that's what I think. The Ferguson report is very disturbing, but not really surprising. The Ferguson police were instructed to raise as much revenue as possible by issuing citations of any kind. It is clearly an abuse of power at the local level of government. And yes, that kind of behavior creates an atmosphere of a police state. Get out of hand and we will slap you with some sort of revenue-generating citation. And if you don't have the money to pay, well, that's too bad. Eventually, we will issue a warrant for your arrest. Yes, people are scared. Unfortunately, the abuse of power by our public officials is alive and kicking at every level of government. The only way we will stop it is if we hold them accountable. Remember, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, at Sarah_Steelman, and at 3DSTS. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Sharyl Attkisson, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, 3D Security and Training Academy. Visit 3DSTA.com. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.